Hey, hey, hey. This is Mod J from Games Vitae, and today we are asking the question, what are you talking about? What are you talking about is a response to board game chatter about certain games. This week we are talking about the Teotihuacan City of the Gods Deluxe Edition on Kickstarter. The chatter is either mostly paid content or it's basically a comment as to whether you should back it or whether you shouldn't back it. The talk as to whether whether the game should be backed or not, really focuses around like, well, if you like the game, you should get it. If you don't like the game, you shouldn't get it. If you've held off so far, then you should probably keep holding off, and so on. It kind of made me think that I don't know that we're doing apples to apples in comparison with the deluxe edition as opposed to the standard edition that's been out for roughly 4 or 5 years. So I wanted to go over that today to kind of discuss which things you should take into account, which things you don't. So here we have the deluxe edition Kickstarter campaign. It's up to $600,000 US. Let's look at the pledge levels. Right now, I'm in for $1. So I'm in so I can get pledge manager access. That's it right now. Why? Is it because I don't want the game? No, I do want the game. But one, I'm not really quite sure where I could get the money to pay for it at this point. So we're holding off on that for that reason. So let's look at the pledges. We don't care about the box of holding. We don't care about the playmats. Here we go. Beauty pack. No, I'm talking about this as a first-time owner of Teotihuacan. If you own the game already, you know whether you want to upgrade or not. Okay? A good example of me, whether I want to upgrade or not. I've got Obsession. I love Obsession. They're going to come out with a 10th anniversary of Obsession soon, and the previews of it have absolutely gorgeous art. It's really, it takes an immersive experience that is already the game Obsession and makes it even more so. Do I want to upgrade? I have enough fun playing this version of the game that I don't know if I need to. So you really have to decide for yourself if you like Teotihuacan and own Teotihuacan if you want to deluxify. And you can do that with this beauty pack. So it's something that, again, that's up to you, whether it's really up to it, you're really into it. It does add some really nice components, but it doesn't add, in my opinion, the most valuable components. And we'll go over that right now. So let's look at the other pledges. You have the Teotihuacan Master Set, and sorry, another tangent here. It's Teotihuacan. It's not Teotihuacan, or it's not Teotihuacan. It's Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan Deluxe Master Set. It has the base game deluxified, remastered, so to speak, and all existing expansions up to this point. Now, I say up to this point because this campaign introduces another one that is not included in this master set. You have to either add that separately or get the all-in version, which includes the playmats and things like that, with stuff that you don't really need. You can play the game just fine without playmat. I mean, if you're a real playmat guy or girl, then fine, go ahead and get the playmat, but it costs. So if you just back this, that's $131. Let's look at the going price on Amazon. Amazon's pretty dependable on finding these games. And generally, if you own a Prime subscription, you're not paying for shipping. So if you're already not paying for shipping, it's probably a really good place to find the game. And we're not talking aftermarket or private seller prices. Those are different. Okay, so here you have Teotihuacan at 49.95. Add the expansion of the expansion period. That's 34.95 plus 34.95. Add the next expansion, late pre-classic period. It's going for 58.98. Add the expansion Shadow of Zettel, and that's 37.11. Okay, just the base game and those 3 expansions, which is they're all included in the deluxe master set. Just those, if you buy them separate retail right now, and that's assuming you get free shipping, $180.99. The talk of, well, it's not that great of a deal, and it generally they're not taking into account the cost of the expansions that go with it. Now, I'm learning myself that, you know what, you don't need all the expansions right now. Case in point, again, Obsession. I've played Obsession online and in person a lot. I've got all the expansions. I've used one of them because it adds simple integrated gameplay without really changing any rules and variation. And I've used it. That's not really much of an expansion. It's more of a mini expansion than anything. But I also have the upstairs downstairs expansion, and I haven't touched it. Why? Because I like the game as is. I don't really need any expanded content other than what I've got. So I have it for when I'm ready for that, but I'm not in a rush to play it. Teotihuacan may be the same way. I've looked at the expansions. There's some really interesting mechanisms that they add into it to add variability and things like that. So if you want Teotihuacan, don't think that you have to have it all. But if you want it all, this is a very affordable way of getting it. Now, this is 119. Let's look at the shipping added to it. Sorry, 130, 31. The shipping is going to be, where is it? It's way down here. The shipping is 15 euro. Let's see what that is in. So another $16.47. So that's so 130 plus 16, that's 146, $147. So $147 as opposed to 181. That's with the shipping for the Kickstarter. So if you're doing apples to apples, Teotihuacan Deluxe Edition is a better deal. Not only because you get all the stuff that's currently out at a cheaper price, but you get other things as well. Let's show you here the Deluxe. Where is it? No. Here we go. You get refreshed art. You also get a division of the game board into 2 different game boards. In this case, you have the main game board, and then you have the temple tracks. In the original, the temple tracks were on the main game board. So it adds a little bit more table versatility, at least, such that it just frees up space in some ways and makes it more usable. You also have player boards. These player boards, they're double layered, and they don't come in the base game. They don't come in the retail edition. This is new. So you're getting these in addition to what's already existed. So you're getting new content. You're getting player aids, which I don't know if they existed or not originally. All components are now wood. Instead of these tiles here being cardboard punchboard, they're wood. which it adds huge durability. Um, all resources are wood. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that per se. I think obsidian looks better as plastic. Maybe this is just for the Euro purist in people, but I personally like resources that look like the real thing. Gold, it'd be nice if it was metal. Wood, well, okay, they got me there, but they've made everything wood. They've given you these drawstring bags, which again didn't exist in the original. Or did they? No, they did have bags in the original. I apologize. Organizational trays in Teotihuacan. The base game did not have them. This version does. And I can't say enough about organizational trays inside a box. I've got two games I really love that don't get to the table much because they're a pain to set up and put away. Why? Because there's no organizational trays in it. It makes it difficult to play because it just makes it difficult to put away and set up. When you have organizational trays, it simplifies that. And in addition to those things, you also have promos. Here we go. These promos come with the deluxe edition. That doesn't come with the other things. So if you wanted those, you'd have to add those as well. And you can go on Board Game Geek and Deluxify bits that come with the original game. That costs even more. So if you're looking at the game and you want the entire experience, and I'm not telling you that you need the entire experience, let's make that clear. You could get the base game right now and enjoy yourself for a long time. But if you wanted it all, thinking to yourself, I really think this system is a good system. I like this game. I like the theme. I like how it puzzles me and how I have to think through this. And then this is it. This is the game that you should get. Don't get fooled in saying, oh, this isn't a good deal. You'll be able to, get the same thing right now at retail. It's apples and oranges. You can't compare what you're getting at retail right now to what you're getting on the Kickstarter. Yes, you could get it right now at retail. And if that's fun, that's what you want, get it. But they're not the same thing. These are deluxe-fied components. They're much better component quality. This contains the entire compendium of the game. And it also provides room for this new expansion, which is a 5th player expansion. If you want a 5-player game, and mind you, this game can play pretty long anyway. So if you're in for a longer experience but want 5 people to play, then Teotihuacan has a 5th player expansion that you can add on for like €19. And again, even then, you're still cheaper than buying at retail. So this is something that is, I think, was misrepresented by some creators because they weren't really taking into account all the content versus all the content. They're saying, okay, the base game is here, and this is how much the Deluxify version is. You're going to be spending a lot more on this deluxe edition. No, you're actually spending less in the long run if you plan on getting it all. If you don't know if the game's for you, don't buy this. Buy the base game or play it for free on Board Game Arena. It's not, I've played it on Board Game Arena. It's not the same experience, I think, as a real life game. It's actually kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of hard to see some of the things that you're doing and to get a good feel of your options. I think a board game spread on the table is going to give you a much better feel. Sorry. So this deluxe edition can't be really compared to the original base game because it's just not comparing. It's not the same thing. And if you want to compare it, you got to take everything into account. And we just did. Price wise, this is a better deal. You're going to wait a long time, but it's something that if you want the game and you already have plenty of games, you can afford to wait. So That's what we're talking about. Hopefully that clears up some things about Teotihuacan, that if you're worried or wondering about whether you should back this, maybe that helps you figure it out. It is a very complex game in managing how you use your resources and how it builds into other things, and the different tracks that you can use to get points and manage your resources in paying for different costs. This is a very good game. It's not a dice placement game. They use dice only as to mark your workers and what level of workers they are. Don't think of it as dice. There is not a luck element when it comes to dice in this game. It's not a dice placement. It's a worker placement game. So if you see dice in there and say, "Oh, I don't like luck games," don't think of the dice as luck mechanisms. They're not. They're just markers. The number marks the level of worker you have. That's it. And different level of workers can do different things. So it's, again, that's a small level of the complexity involved with this game that adds to its depth, its richness. So let's call this a wrap. This has less than 2 days left on the campaign. By the time I get this up, hopefully it'll still have most of that 45 hours left. So take these things into account. If you want the game and are wondering whether you should wait or not, just take it all into account and see how it's going. It's got a lot of backers so far. It's a pretty good, successful campaign in my opinion, but take it for what it's worth. If this helps you, then by all means, go for this game. If it isn't, then there's plenty of options out there. You can get it secondhand. You can get it. You can bargain hunt hopefully and see if it goes for a lower price later in the year on Amazon or on any given board game site. So see if it works for you, and we'll catch you next time on Games Vitae. Thanks a lot.